Invercargill crowns a festival king. And record crowds at the Dunedin Procession. Good evening. Dunedin police began a search this afternoon for missing Ashburn Hall patient Gabrielle Stewart. Mrs. Stewart left Ashburn Hall to go for a walk at midday on Friday, and police were called in when she failed to return. Sally Pears reports.
Gabrielle Stewart was to leave Ashburn Hall and return home to Tauranga this coming Thursday. But on Friday afternoon she went for one of her customary walks and didn't return. There were 2 positive sightings of 34-year-old Mrs. Stewart in the Darzell Road area yesterday. So police concentrated today's search on Fraser's Gully, a spot she's visited before picking blackberries. But as weather conditions worsen, police hold fears for the safety of Mrs. Stewart, who was wearing only light clothes on Friday.
We would appeal to the public or anyone who lives in this area to come forward to police with any information they can offer us at all.
Is she in a distressed state?
Yes, she is. That's mainly why we hold fears for her safety.
Gabrielle Stewart is 155 centimetres, or 5 foot 1 inches tall. She has blonde hair and blue eyes. It's believed she's wearing a multicoloured skirt, lemon-coloured sleeveless top and denim jacket.
The decision by health workers to call off the 48-hour strike planned for tomorrow was supported by staff in Otago and Southland. They voted today to avert the action, but the effects of the dispute will still be felt in the region for some time to come. As Michael Lynch reports, the main impact is on hospital waiting lists.
500 health workers, from nurses to clerical staff, voted in Otago to call off tomorrow's strike. A similar decision was made in Southland. They'll go back to the party and negotiate on wages and conditions, but the threat of further action is far from over. Meanwhile, the people who are the meat in the sandwich sit and worry. John Morton's been due for major heart surgery. Like more than 150 others in the south awaiting operations, these last weeks have been a worry for him, for his family. And yet, he says he's one of the lucky ones.
I feel okay with him myself. I know my wife worries that I could catch a cold and the thing would, I wouldn't be ready to go into surgery when they next call me, or more seriously, if I have another heart attack, it may mean that the operation is not indeed possible.
The nurses say they're sorry for Mr. Morton, and for the 1,000 or so outpatients and others in the south who've borne the brunt of this exercise.
It's regrettable that patients are affected in this manner, but we believe that they will benefit in the future as well. That the 24-hour strike had to happen so that we could get some form of agreement and for the health system.
I'm appalled not only at the strain on myself and my family, but the fact that we've got 3 skilled cardiac surgeons here in Dunedin who haven't been able to perform for the last 2 weeks and possibly another week or so. So that must be, 20, 30 heart operations that would now be behind all those involved that are still to be done.
John Morton doesn't know when he's getting to hospital. He hopes it's soon. And over the next few weeks, schools may go through a similar exercise to the health service. Secondary teachers in the central Otago took the afternoon off today to vote on industrial action. Their counterparts in the cities will do so tomorrow. Primary teachers are holding meetings out of school hours all week. For the teachers, the new blueprint for tomorrow's schools is yesterday's solution.
There's been a halt in Stewart Island County's attempts to wind up the company operating the passenger ferry Acheron. That's because Acheron's owners, Stewart Island Charter Services, have put forward a proposal which the county's solicitors are still studying. Today's scheduled court hearing in Invercargill was adjourned, and the county is waiting for a solicitor's recommendation. Company manager Ian Johnson says the Acheron will keep operating its scheduled services as usual. Gore has now officially proclaimed itself the brown trout fishing capital of the world. The town's not only launched its trout statue, but is looking at a wide range of business opportunities that the new status might bring. To emphasise the fact that there's money in trout, fisherman cum businessman Bob Jones was there for the statue's unveiling. Mark Price for the details.
No one can fail to notice Gore's newest addition to the skyline. It's about 9 metres long and weighs a tonne. It's the beginning of what is hoped to be a new industry for Gore. Fresh from 2 days fishing the Mataura River, Bob Jones made the point at the unveiling that trout fishing, albeit for rainbow trout, has done wonders for the economy of Turangi in the North Island, and Gore should also benefit.
It'll take a decade to get it entrenched as the brown trout capital, and you will see a massive impact on this town. You certainly won't see any people unemployed, and you'll see a much bigger population.
The statue is already stopping tourists in their tracks, but those promoting the region's fishing have only just begun. Every fishing club in the world will get a poster from Gore. Tourists who pass through town will be swamped with trout souvenirs. Local businesses will include trout on their letterheads. And if any locals were still in doubt about the attractions of brown trout fishing, they only had to taste a little of this 4.5 kilogram monster. The fishermen of Gore are out to prove they have the best trout fishing in the country. They've challenged Turangi to a competition, and that should take place within about a month.
Amateur aviators who built their own planes flew into Dunedin this weekend to swap notes and admire each other's handicraft. The 35 homemade planes were the centre of attention for the amateur plane makers who spent the day at Tairi Airport. They competed for various prizes and caught up with the latest in homemade designs. There was everything from vintage models to the latest in fiberglass, and the thrill of watching it in action. And now to festival celebrations in both of our southern cities. Invercargill came up with something, or someone, a little different during the summer festival. As well as the traditional festival queen and princesses, a festival king was crowned. Peter Cruikshank with that story.
It's the first time Invercargill's had a festival king, and the eventual winner had to show a variety of skills quite unlike those required for festival queen. 10-pin bowling, a new sport for some, was just one of 7 activities in the competition. At the end of the contest, the clear winner was 22-year-old Bobby Morell, Invercargill's first festival king.
Balmy summer weather over the weekend brought out the crowds on Saturday for Dunedin's annual festival procession. 60,000 people lined the streets to watch the grand display, including our reporter Kathy Graham.
The Skirl of the Pipes led the big parade. After 35 years, the festival's become as much a part of the city's traditions as its Scottish founders. And on Saturday, it was bigger and better than ever. The festival queen and her princesses were on the first of the 50 floats. Then there was something for everyone. Floats, 5 more bands, and 6 teams of marching girls. The electricity department did the kids proud with its version of the Cat in the Hat. And the kids did their mums and dads proud. Brockville's Pirates took second prize in the suburban section. But the champion of champions went to Pine Hill yet again for their Indian entry. A
last treat for the kids from Cookie Bear and the Kiwi, and a happy ending to one of the city's most successful festival processions.
And you can purchase extended VHS coverage of the procession for $44 by writing to Replay Video, Box 474, Dunedin. And that's it for tonight. We leave you with the 3 o'clock temperatures and a look at the Octagon, -2 of its silver birch trees. They came down this morning as part of the area's redevelopment. Cloudy in Half Moon Bay and it was 16 degrees. Invercargill partly cloudy and 16. Big high tomorrow, 22. Showery in Gore today with 13. Balclutha 15. Dunedin rain and 13 at 3 o'clock. The high tomorrow of 18. Palmerston overcast and 15. 14 Oamaru. Ranfurly 13. 14 in Queenstown. Wanaka the high of 18 and Te Anau rain and 12.